Greetings everybody, I'm Joshua Orro, the Mustang Prince, and welcome to Mustang Prince Orro Reports. Well folks, I certainly have good news tonight. For you see, thanks to the magic of my horn, this morning I've conjured up a very special force field around my house so that the COVID welder's pesky bats do not bother me or my family this Christmas season. Anyway, what should I talk about for tonight's episode? Well, why don't I talk about the greatest sci-fi fantasy ever, Star Wars. In the past, I previously blogged Solo with my friend Scott Addison. I blogged the animated Clone Wars movie last year, and I also counted down 11 of my favorite Star Wars characters. So I guess it's safe to say that I've re-become a Star Wars fan after seeing The Force Awakens back in December 2015. And while the past two trilogies have had its share of ups and downs, including Rogue One, 2 years ago, the sequel trilogy, in my opinion, did end triumphant and sad due to the defeat of Emperor Palpatine and the tragic death of General Leia. Also, at the same time, not only do I think Disney's new Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is an amazing area at the Disney parks, but I finally got my chance to ride Star Wars Rise of the Resistance ever since August 2021. And in my opinion, it's such an awesome ride due to the trackless ride system, the projection mapping effects, and that drop tower at the end. Also, I'm really happy that it's no longer using virtual queues and went to basic standby queues forever. Plus, about 2 months ago, I was chosen as a Rebel spy on Star Tours, finally, and for some time now, I've been watching a few episodes of The Mandalorian show on Disney+. Now, I suppose most of you know about the infamous holiday special, and in my opinion, after watching it on YouTube a few years ago, it was really bland. And fortunately, I'm not gonna blog it. Besides, almost everyone in the reviewerverse have said their thoughts on it, including Isaac the Media Hunter. But, on the other hand, since it's on Disney+, I can probably blog the animated segment. But I wonder if it still holds up these days. But let's find out. Airing on television on November 17th, 1978, this is the story of the faithful Wookiee. Now, in this animated segment, after Luke Skywalker and Han Solo succumb to a suspicious sleeping virus, Chewbacca hunts for a cure with some help from an unlikely ally, the bounty hunter Boba Fett. However, Chewie's Wookiee instincts warn him that all is not what it seems. Now, what are my thoughts on the segment anyway? Well, in my opinion, despite being part of the infamous holiday special, it's pretty good. But to further explain why I think so, let's move on to Mustang Notes. During development of the Star Wars holiday special, director David Akomba showed George Lucas the 1976 Nelvana film A Cosmic Christmas. He then decided to hire them for the project because he wanted a unique style of animation. Lucas then met with Nelvana and provided them with a story outline, which Clive A. Smith and Frank Neeson turned into storyboards. After approving their work, Lucas proceeded to work with Smith on streamlining the story. The project was then developed under a relatively short time schedule, with the animators working from the video of the Joe Johnson/Ben Burt costume test. The color palette was chosen so that it would stand on black and white TVs, which were still pretty common at the time. Now, what are my thoughts on the animation? Well, in my eyes, Nelvana's style of animation is pretty underrated, and some of it feels reminiscent to their later two Star Wars animated shows, Droids and Ewoks, during the 1980s. Also, I think it's pretty clever that the Rebels have moved their base to inside a rock in the ring base of an asteroid field, and I think the planet Pana, which is located in the Outer Rim's Tyon cluster, is a pretty interesting looking planet with a strawberry gelatin ocean and a city with interesting and weird looking aliens. One of which being this two-faced purple guy chewing bubble gum. As for the story itself, well, while it is pretty rushed, I thought it was pretty interesting. And now let's move on to the characters and the voice actors. Let's start with Luke Skywalker, voiced by Mark Hamill, whom I remember as the Joker in Batman the Animated Series, Judah from Joseph King of Dreams, Colonel Muska in Castle in the Sky, and Master Ericus in the Kingdom Hearts game series. Now, during this segment's time period, Luke is determined to become a Jedi Master and put an end to the Galactic Empire. In my opinion, while Luke does become a victim of the sleeping virus, I find it pretty surprising that he flies a Y-Wing instead of his famous X-Wing from the movies. But then again, Luke did fly an Imperial shuttle in Episode 6, so I guess it's not that hard to fly anything in the Star Wars universe. However, the only flaw with Luke is that he's kinda quick to trusting someone like Boba Fett. Next we have C-3PO, voiced by Anthony Daniels, and R2-D2. To me, these two are the most memorable droids in the Star Wars franchise, and, as usual, they make great supporting characters. In this segment, R2 and 3PO join Luke to help Chewie and Han. However, R2 detects contamination from the talisman, which only affects humans. Now to me, I think 3PO has great interpretation functions, despite the fact that Anthony Daniels' voice acting in this segment sounds a bit too calm, and R2 moves almost like he's made of Play-Doh. However, I found it pretty shocking when R2 and 3PO later intercept a transmission call between Boba Fett and Darth Vader. We also have Han Solo, voiced by Harrison Ford, who's also known for being in The Secret Life of Pets 2, 42, and Indiana Jones. To me, Han is another amazing character in the Star Wars universe, mainly due to his piloting skills with the Millennium Falcon, and I think he has some of the most sarcastic lines ever. However, in this segment, Han doesn't seem to do too much due to him being unconscious from the sleeping virus. Plus, I think his design looks really off, and Harrison Ford's voice acting sounds really uninterested. Well, can't say I don't blame him. I mean, it is the holiday special after all. Next we have Han's Wookiee partner, Chewbacca, vocalized by the late Peter Mayhew, whom was also Minotaur in Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger. In my eyes, Chewie is an awesome Wookiee, and I think Peter Mayhew's vocals are absolutely timeless. May he rest in peace. During this segment, after Han passes out from the sleeping virus, Chewie destroys the talisman in a garbage chute, and he hangs Han upside down to have his blood rush to his head in order to keep him alive. Also, because he doesn't trust Boba Fett, Chewie decides to join him to get the remedy. Also, I think Chewie's best moment is when he shoots and destroys a gunship with stormtroopers that were chasing him and Boba. And finally, we come to the famous and badass bounty hunter, Boba Fett, voiced by Don Franks, whom, after this film, voiced Mock Swagger in Rock and Rule and the evil Vizier in the Care Bears Nutcracker Suite. To me, Boba Fett is the main reason why anybody remembers this cartoon, and believe it or not, this segment was Boba Fett's debut before his appearance in Episode 5. Also, I think Don Frank's voice makes Boba sound really mysterious, and seeing him in this makes me pretty excited to see the upcoming Book of Boba Fett series later this month. Plus, I thought it was really awesome when Boba saved Luke from a Panda Dragon. Plus, it was pretty surprising that Boba was in reality working for Darth Vader, hoping to get the location of the new Rebel base. By the way, for some time now, I've been wanting to demonstrate my own Darth Vader voice, and I think right now might be the best time to show it.
Good work. I want them alive. Now that you've got their trust, they may take you to their new base. I see why they call you the best bounty hunter in the galaxy.
And now let's move on to my final words. Overall, the story of the Faithful Wookiee is a pretty decent animated segment. The animation is pretty good, despite the character designs having a few hiccups, and the designs of the areas and aliens are certainly interesting to look at, with the exception of one, of course. Plus, the story is pretty good, but the pacing is a tad quick, and some of the voice acting could have used some improvement. And while Boba Fett's appearance in Episode 5 may have had a better impact on Star Wars fans, his appearance in this was certainly more interesting to watch due to his interactions towards Luke and the others. So, if you're a Star Wars fan, you might like this short more than what the holiday special had to offer, since it actually had some sort of story to follow within the saga. And if you're a casual fan, you might have fun watching this out of curiosity. And if you get the chance, tune into Disney Plus to watch it. I give it a 67% out of 100. Well, that's all for now. Be sure to join me next time, where we look at an animated Santa Claus origin story from Netflix, Mustang Power. Oh, and may the Force be with you, always.
When I was a young child, younger than you or me, I went into the toy store, sat on Santa's knee. He asked me what toys I want, dinky toys or Ted's. I gazed into his big brown eyes and this is what I said. I want Christmas, playing with plastic tauntauns. Christmas, in my Millennium Falcon, watching the repeats of Star Wars, playing with my plastic figures. Christmas, a long time ago in a galaxy far away. Later on at Christmas Eve I went up to my bed. No matter so how much I tried, I couldn't rest my head.